Welcome, students. We are at the library's homepage right now, and I'm actually going to scroll down for a second and click on our Ask a Librarian link to introduce myself. My name is Christina Bonner. I'm one of 4 librarians here at the university, and we are familiar with your assignment for this class. And I will be getting you into an important resource that you'll need to get the articles you'll need for your research paper for this class. And I want to mention while I'm on this page, if you have any questions at all as you get into doing your research for this class or any of the other classes, we're happy to help. We are available when this is green rather than the gray you see here. It will let you know chat is available, and we're available by chat, we're available by email, as well as in person online. And we're happy to assist you with getting you into the resources, helping you with search strategies, and asking any questions you have about your research. I'm going to go ahead and go back now to our homepage. And from here, I'm going to get you into a couple of really important resources. So in the black navigation menu, you have an option for Research Tools and Services, and that's where we're headed. And in fact, we're going to go specifically into the library's research guides. And we have research guides that we've created for you. They're by subject, so that if you have a subject that you're interested in your papers or your research, you can click on those and get guidance as to what kinds of resources are available. And we have research guides for specific courses like this one. And we have it alphabetically, English 111. And here I'm going into that. And now at this point, most of our research guides will look very similar to this. And they'll start you off with our top picks for our library databases for your research. And this is where you would start your research, potentially. And English 111 and English 110 have, as you know, many different sections and many different professors teaching the course. For this class in particular, the top 2 databases I recommend, number one and absolutely number one, is Academic Search Complete. The other one would be OhioLink's Electronic Journal Center. And I'm going to take you into Academic Search Complete. You'll notice it says that this offers full text of information in many areas of academic study. Any kind of topic you can find in Academic Search Complete. And it provides you with scholarly articles, magazine articles, and even articles from newspapers. I'm going to show you how to just focus on those scholarly articles when we get in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the link. And you'll notice it's prompted me to log in if you get this prompt, and you will if you're not on campus or if you're using a laptop or your phone. And you just want to put in your last name and then the last 7 numbers of your ODU ID. I'll log in. Here we go. So we can tell that I'm in Academic Search Complete. The company, by the way, that produces this database is called EBSCO. That's their logo right there. And because your paper involves researching a person, I believe is born before 1970, and taking a look at that person's impact on a particular social issue, social concern, I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick demo of how best to do that and what you'll find, what to look for, how to navigate through this database and its results. So the person I've chosen is Lyndon B. Johnson, one of our former presidents. And at that point, now I can go in and put his name in that search box, the top search box there, and click on search. And you'll notice I get over 2,000 results. We don't want that. Our databases are not the same as search engines. You want to be able to get a good list of 30, 80, maybe 100 results. If you're getting thousands, you need to either revise your search topic or your search terms. And I'm going to mention also that when you get into our databases, the scholarly articles that are here, you cannot get, for the most part, free through any search engine. You have to get into the database, which is why I'm showing you today. So we put in Lyndon B. Johnson here, and I noticed that with the very first one, we have a Johnson Lyndon B. and the years he was born and died under the subjects in this first article. This is one article. Actually, in fact, this is not an article. This tells me that it is a primary source. This was probably one of his speeches that he gave. So anyway, we're going to scroll down and all the way down to where it says subject, and I'm going to make sure I have the right Lyndon Johnson. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice that we've dropped down below 2000. So some of those weren't potentially the right Lyndon Johnson that I want. So now that we're here, I'm going to take a look. When you do your searching, you can start with a simple search like this and then scan through maybe the top 10 results or so to see what area that individual was concerned with and potentially had a significant impact on. So if I scroll down with number 1, I notice immediately in the subjects, civil rights movement, race relations. If I scroll down and look at number 2, I notice the Higher Education Act. So he was potentially also involved in issues in higher education. And if I scroll down even more, we get, as you can see, voting rights. You'll notice also when you scroll down, take a look at the article titles and you'll get clues again as to what areas of social concern this individual was involved in. We scroll down to number 5, and with number 5, anti-Semitism. So we're getting quite a few options here as to what I might focus on in my paper. And as I scroll down, you can see there's quite a bit here. And of course, he was involved in the war as well at the time. And I'm going to scroll back up. If you had too many results, or you want to really focus and see if you can find a couple of articles that talk about his impact or his significance or his influence, you can do a new search with your person in the first search box, and then in the second search box, put in something that reflects impact. In this case, this is going to pull up, if I do the search, every article here in this list that does not only have the word Lyndon B. Johnson in it, but also has the word either impact or significance or influence, so that we might come up with articles that really address that. The other option that you can do, sorry about the image, is put in one of the social concerns. If you already know, or if you've seen from your list here, one of those concerns you want to take a look at. I'm actually going to focus on one other social concern that Lyndon B. Johnson attempted to address during his presidency, and that's poverty. So I've got my individual's name up here, and now I'm putting in that second search box the social concern that he attempted to address. So I'm going to click on search. And at this point, okay, now we're getting much better results, 148. And when you go through this list, before we actually go any further, I'm going to mention we are still getting newspapers, book reviews, magazines. We want scholarly research articles. And a way to do this is, you'll notice on the left-hand side to limit to, you can scroll down, there's a box you can check for scholarly peer-reviewed journals. And what that does is that's going to get rid of everything else and allow you to focus on research articles, which is what we need for this class. So now we're down to a much manageable list of 32 potentially. And again, as I scroll down through here, you'll notice that there are articles, I'm looking at the titles. Boy, when good intentions aren't good enough, the war on poverty is lost. And we scroll down again, promoting the poor. We're getting some Indian community, Native American community conditions that are potentially part of the issue maybe. 50 years later, from a war on poverty to a war on the poor. So this may be comparing Lyndon B. Johnson to more current presidents. So you also see with number 9, it focuses on poverty in rural America. So each one of these articles is going to give you different aspects, potentially pros and cons concerning this individual's impact on poverty and whether or not the person was successful or to what degree. And I highly encourage you to look at several articles and different perspectives to help give you a much bigger, more informed picture of the social concern and what was going on at the time. So with that said, we have our research articles here. So the next step is, if you've got a good list like this, how do you get your articles, right? Okay, so here's what you want to do. Number 1, you see the little magnifying glass over here. If you hover over that, that is going to give you not only the list of subjects that we already saw, but a nice summary, a nice abstract of the article, which will allow you to find out whether or not this is really something you want, something you need, something you want to focus on. And if it looks good, then you want to look for exactly what we have right here, a full text link. Click on that, your full article will come up. If you are looking at something like number 2 and you don't see a full text link here, then you want to click on Full Text Finder, and that will attempt to find it in another database. We have over 200. If it had found it, it would have been right above here. Unfortunately, this one did not find it, so your option then would be interlibrary loan. If you get to this point and you have questions on how to do that, feel free to ask us. We'd be happy to walk you through. Basically said, interlibrary loan takes roughly anywhere from 2 to 10 days. Right now, it can even be longer if the libraries aren't loaning. So if you get to this point and you see many other articles in your list, I'd say go ahead and close out of that option, go back to your list and find some other articles. But if you really, really want that article, go through interlibrary loan. Again, we'll walk you through it if you get to that point and would like to do so. Okay. And the other thing I'll point out, we had PDF full text in number 1. In this case, we have 2 options, an HTML or a PDF. Either one will give you the full article. However, if you have any potential images or charts or graphs or anything like that, you definitely want the PDF. They're not going to be in this version. This is text only. So again, PDF full text is your best option. Okay, I'm going to go back up to number 1 now, and I want to share with you just 1 or 2 other options you have. If I click on this, when you use an article like this in your paper, you're going to need to cite it. You're going to need to make a reference to it in your paper and at the end of your paper. And you're going to need to tell your reader who wrote it, where it came from, when it was published, what pages it was on, and so forth. And to do that, you can take that information right from here. This, by the way, says it's an essay, so I probably, even though this is an academic journal, will not use this. So I'm going to go back, and this is another reason why I click on these links. I'm going to go back, and we're going to take a look here at, let's take a look at a high wire crusade. Now that sounds interesting. If we click on that, there we go. Document type, article. And we know it's in a scholarly journal, so it's a scholarly article. 24 pages, which is typical for scholarly articles. And over here, you can click on Cite, and you'll find out that you've been asked or will be asked to use MLA style to cite your sources. And this is a reference to this source. So you can go ahead and copy this and paste it into your paper. That said, please note you'll still potentially need to fix whatever you copy and paste into your paper. This is not guaranteed to be completely accurate in MLA style. Now I go back to my results list here, and then I can look further down. And again, that's our database. That's Academic Search Complete. Great database to learn. If you have any questions, you can go to our home page here. And again, the Ask a Librarian page is available right here, or anytime you see a chat pop up in your window. And before I go out and finish, I'm going to go back to our English 111 research guide and mention that there are some tips and tutorials here as well. And we'll have a handout online, a PDF guide online on using Academic Search Complete for this assignment. Look for it in your Panther Learn or from your professor. And then the other two pages that are here, you can get to our library catalogs, which my colleague will tell you about later in a different video. And you can also reach us at any time through our research help page. Our Ask a Librarian is here for help with MLA style. We have some resources online for you, and we also link you to the right places, writing tutors for assistance. So start your research with us, and good luck with your papers.